Good morning, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Google+. This is Rich again, back for your first video blog of the day for Saturday, July 30th, 2016, around 6:53 in the morning. It's going to be a sunny day out today. Humidity's gone for right now, so it's going to be clear and comfortable and close to 80. So you shut off these air conditioners for today. Give yourself a little break, and that will probably bring down the electricity bill just for today. Some news to report. Boston Red Sox snapped the 4-game losing streak by beating the Angels by a score of 6-2. Rick Porcello wins again. He's like the de facto ace of the Red Sox this year. 13 wins he has. Maybe he'll get some Cy Young votes. And the Lowell Spinners dropped the game to Batavia by the score of 5-3 last night. It's Happy International Friendship Day, and sad news to report. Former NFL and CFL player Antonio Armstrong passed away at the age of 42. What's more scarier, he and his wife were killed by their son. It's so sad and tragic. So prayers to the family in this time of need. And that's about it on the news. My first video blog subject for the day is about the top 10 best sports stars in Chi-Town, the Windy City, Chicago. This is a very, very impressive list. Some big names were left off this list because I could only have 10, and here they are. Number 10 on this list of the greatest sports athletes in Chicago sports history, Frank Thomas, the Big Hurt, who played for the Chicago White Sox, back-to-back MVPs in 1993, 1994, a great power hitter, a great hitter, and he was a first baseman, DH. He played 15 seasons with the White Sox, first ballot Hall of Famer in 2014, number 35 hanging from the rafters at U.S. Cellular Field. Number 9 on this list of the greatest sports stars in Chicago sports history, Jonathan Toews. Jonathan's currently the captain of the Chicago Blackhawks, 3-time Stanley Cup champion, and he's probably one of the best captains in the NHL today, and he's on pace to go to the Hall of Fame. Number 8 on this list of the greatest sports stars in Chicago sports history, Gale Sayers. Gale only played 7 seasons in the NFL. He was one of the best running backs of his era. Knee injuries basically ended his career early, but if he was healthy, he probably would set rushing records. Number 7 on this list of the greatest sports stars in Chicago sports history, Billy Williams, who was an outfielder for the Chicago White Sox in the 50s, 60s, and early 70s. Billy was an Iron Man back in the day, playing in over 1,000 straight games. He played for the Cubs. He was a great outfielder. Baseball Hall of Fame in 1987, and number 26 retired by the the Chicago Cubs. Number 6 on this list of the greatest sports stars in Chicago sports history, Scottie Pippen, who played for the Bulls for many, many years. He was the second banana to Michael Jordan. He won 6 NBA championships, probably one of the best players in Chicago Bulls history. Number 33 is hanging from the rafters from the United States Center and first ballot Hall of Fame in 2010. Number 5 on this list of the greatest sports stars in Chicago sports history, Walter Payton. Sweetness. Walter Payton played 13 years in the NFL, all with the Chicago Bears. He was the all-time leading rusher when he retired. He won a Super Bowl in 1985, first ballot Hall of Fame in 1993. He passed away very young in 1999, and his number 34 is retired by the Bears. Number 4 on this list of the greatest sports stars in Chicago sports history, Dick Butkus, linebacker for the Bears in the 60s and early 70s. He was probably one of the best defensive players in his era, but he played for some very bad Chicago Bears teams, and he's recognized as a legend in Chicago, and he was a first ballot Pro Football Hall of Famer. Number 3 on this list of the greatest sports stars in Chicago sports history, Bobby Hall. Bobby Hall played for the Blackhawks for many, many years. He was one of the biggest stars in the NHL during his time. He was a great goal scorer. He lit it up, 50 goals a lot. Legend for the Blackhawks. He scored over 500 goals in a Chicago Blackhawks uniform, number 16, hanging from the rafters at the United Center, and made the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1983. Number 2 on this list of the greatest sports stars in Chicago sports history, Ernie Banks, Mr. Cobb. He was a first baseman, shortstop for the 50s, 60s, and 70s, member of the 500 home run club. He never played in the postseason or World Series, and he made the Hall of Fame on his first ballot in 1977. His famous quote is, "Fresh air, sunshine, let's play too." And number 1 on this list of the greatest sports stars in Chicago sports history, this is no question about it, as the late great Gordon Solie, the dean of wrestling announcers, would say, the number 1 sports athlete in the history of Chicago sports is Michael Jordan, who played the majority of his NBA career with the Chicago Bulls, best NBA player of all time, best Chicago Bulls of all time, 6-time NBA champion, won many MVPs, many slam dunk titles. He was so amazing. It would have been 8 straight MVPs if he did not take those 1.5 years off to play baseball, but that was a kind of a cover-up for a suspension due to gambling debts. And number 23 is hanging from the rafters from the United Center. And that's about it on that. I will be back for one more video blog today. It's only 2 today. The second and final video blog of the day will be about Bruno Sammartino's reigns as WWF champion from 1963 to 1970, and again from 1973 to 1977. Keep calm, everybody. And I'm a Julie Pin guy. Molly Roseblood, WCCO, Roxanne has nice legs. Elizabeth Hatzo, so stunning, she's the best. Amy Squeezy of Wish 2, Roxanne has nice legs. And Bob Gibbs of ABC 11 has that sweet southern accent. Linda Church is such a cougar, of course she's got nice legs. And in the words of Dee Patel, last week, no bus by now.